Good morning. Let us be very simple with one another and very honest. The great burden on the human heart today is not 1,000 separate problems. It is one lying suggestion repeating itself with many masks. Fear. And I say to you at the outset, fear is not law. It is hypnosis, mass mesmerism. It looks loud. It looks legal. It parades with charts and headlines and symptoms, but it is only a suggestion without authority, and it dissolves in the light of realized presence. So the question with which we begin is not complicated. Are your fears law, or are they hypnosis that disappears when you awaken? We will hold one password together this morning, not as a slogan, not as a charm, but as a door that actually opens. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Take that into you. Make it live on your tongue and in your breath. Where the Spirit of the Lord is not a place on a map. It is a realized atmosphere within your own consciousness. And where that is felt, liberty is not, will be, not after this or that is changed, liberty is. You must take that, yes, as a shibboleth, a password that admits you to a different country. Now, we are not going to wrestle with conditions, and we are not going to try to do anything to them. We are not going to fix the body, fix the bank book, fix the world. All we are going to do is bring to this very moment the realization of God's presence, and when we attain even one breath of that, liberty will be found there. Be still and know that I am God. Do not let your concern be for health. Do not let your concern be for supply. Let your concern be that in quietness and trust. You feel that surging of the Spirit within you when you say, I am not trying to get well. You have to mean it. When you say, I am not trying to make money, you have to mean it. God first outcomes may do what they will in the shadows while we dwell in the light. I want you to see how this works in the most ordinary ways. Ellen reads the morning bulletin and her stomach tightens. A shopkeeper counting the till at dusk hears the old narrator whisper, not enough, not safe. A man, feeling a twinge in his side, begins to write the whole tragic drama in his own mind. That is the spell. That is the inner hypnotist. In that instant, you will conduct a small living test with me. Spot the suggestion. Name it not as law, but as suggestion. Withdraw the power you have unknowingly handed to it. How? Place your attention gently, without strain, upon the password, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Then be still. 1 breath. 2. Perfect love casteth out fear. Not you casting, love casting. The felt presence will, in its own way, announce itself. A soft, quiet, a loosening in the chest, a sense of authority without any tightening of the will. That is liberty beginning to dawn. We will practice this rhythm together briefly, often, in the midst of life. We will not argue with the picture, for pictures have no law. 2 times 2 has never made 5 by law, only by suggestion. And so, when the hypnotic claim comes through money, through body, through news, we will say, thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. And then we will rest in the one from whom all power proceeds. In it, but not of it. So I offer you this promise, not as prophecy, but as spiritual fact. If you will join me in this one intention, to realize presence rather than correct appearances, you will know a felt shift this very day. Quiet instead of argument, release instead of clutching, a steady authority that does not shout. And you will prove for yourself that where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty now. Now let us look calmly at how the spell works, because if you can see the mechanism of it, you will not be so ready to kneel before it. Mass hypnotism is nothing more nor less than a collective suggestion masquerading as fact. It arrives not as a theory, but as a felt urgency. a pressure in the chest, a narrowing of the horizon around the words must, have to, inevitable. It is the inner narrator suddenly speeding up the reel and saying, everyone knows this is how it goes. Everyone knows the body fails. Everyone knows money is scarce. Everyone knows the world is on fire. And the moment you accept everyone knows as law, the spell has done its work, for you have ceded your authority to a chorus of ghosts. We have seen this pageant before. In the wars of the last century, there were propaganda bureaus whose sole labor was to turn suggestion into marching orders, posters to make a neighbor into a monster, radio voices timed and intoned to inflame, newsreels cut to a drum so that the heart would beat in time with the slogan. In the cinemas there were experiments, single frames of appetite, spliced into the film so quickly that the eye denied it, but the body rose and bought. Do you see the method? It is not a law. It is a loud whisper passing for law. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Not shouting back at error, but knowing truth unmasks its nothingness, and we dress it up again in this age with more polished machinery. The device in the hand, the feed that learns your blink and your flinch, the algorithm that says, their fear, give them more. And so it serves you 1,000 variations of the same body, money, news triad until your attention, harvest of heaven, is spent on shadows. Doom scrolling, they call it. The serpent does not need to bite if it can keep you looking. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. We are not angry at the device. We are not warring with the paper or the screen. We are simply refusing to enthrone suggestion as law. Now bring it down to the scale where you live. A bill arrives and the stomach says, emergency. A twinge visits the side, and the old historian within takes up his pen. This is the beginning of the end. A headline breaks and the mind runs ahead. This will touch your children. You must worry now to prove you care. That is the narrator. That is the hypnotist. In that second, do not argue figures. Do not Google symptoms. Do not join the chorus. Spot the suggestion. Name it. This is suggestion, not law. Withdraw the credential you have just stamped for it. How? Turn, even if for one breath, to the password we hold between us. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Then be still and know that I am God. Understand this. What is false has no law to support it. 2 times 2 cannot be 5 by legislation or decree. You can shout 5 into a microphone, print it on banners, loop it in your feed, but when quietness comes, 4 is there, untouched. Error cannot be corrected. It can only be seen as nothing. The horizon looked like the edge of the world until one man sailed through it and found there was no edge to fix. So it is with the law of lack, the law of disease, the law of panic. They have no law. Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. And above in the one there is no law of fear. Now you must hear this in the marrow. We are not going to try to do anything to the picture. We will not adjust the economy with our thought. We will not treat the twinge. We will not manage the news. We will bring and bring again the realization of God's presence to bear upon our own consciousness. And in that light, the picture will either dissolve or stand revealed as harmless. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Let your concern be not for bread, nor for headlines, nor for symptoms. Let your concern be that just here. You feel that surging of the Spirit within you. My peace, he said, I give unto you, not as the world giveth, no, not as algorithms or markets or pundits give I unto you. Take that peace as the atmosphere, and you will see that what looked like law was only loud suggestion, and seen in presence, it has no authority at all. Now here is the foundation without which you will only shuffle furniture on the deck and wonder why the sea remains the same. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, not by the renewing of your condition. Change of consciousness, not change of scenery. You may believe me or not, but I can only speak from that day. Some of you know the story when, without any moral campaign or self-improvement plan, a change took place within, and life reassembled itself around it like iron filings around a magnet, not of my making. Did I set out to become better? No. Did I set out to quit certain things? No. But tastes, appetites, atmospheres fell away like husks after harvest, and I found that I still lived, but not in the same atmosphere. I still went down the same streets, but the streets did not contain me. In it, but not of it, ceased to be a line and became a climate. Friends tried to take me back where the old talk was, thick the arguments, the amusements that had glittered for me, and I tried to meet them with kindness, but they couldn't follow me into that room, and neither could I go back out of it. Understand, I had not become superior to them. I had become different in consciousness, and that is an unarguable difference. The cocktail tray came by as usual. The theater tickets were offered as usual. The debating clubs of politics and personality swirled as usual. But something no longer answered in me, and something else, quiet and sure, rose up. It was not that I had made a vow to abstain or to oppose. It was that the center of gravity had shifted. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. That word became food. And when the bread of this world is no longer your diet, you do not have to pry it from your own fingers. It drops. Now take this, please, into the practicality of your day, because otherwise you will sit here and attempt to move the pieces on the board as if the moves had power. We are not going to try to do anything to the pictures. Do not polish the horizon to reach new ocean. You do not take a rag to that blue rim and rub until it yields another continent. You sail with a new chart. In 1492, they did not sand the edge of the sea to remove the fear of falling off. They sailed by a star that said the map in their heads, not the world, was wrong. So it is with you. You will not polish the body into peace, nor buff the bank book into security, nor argue the news into kindness. Seek a new chart consciousness first. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and in ways you cannot blueprint. All these things shall be added unto you. How does that look at 3 p.m. when the old narrator tries to collect you? It looks like this. You keep your appointment within. Do not let your concern be for health. Do not let your concern be for supply. Let your concern be that even in the corridor of your office, you turn one breath to and remember the password, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. You are not manipulating the outer frame. You are relocating the axis of your attention. And then, gently, without a struggle of will, you notice something reordering itself. The conversation that was baited for battle loses its hook. The appetite that would have dragged you into the old whirl goes unfed and quietly starves. Work that once felt like pushing a stone uphill becomes proportioned to an inner rhythm you did not schedule. The palm frond does not shape the life of the tree. The life of the tree shapes the frond. So too, the realized presence, unhurried, undramatic, shapes the form of your day without a committee of your fears driving it. Do not argue with me that conditions must be different before you can be different. That is the oldest lie of the hypnotist. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Not after the world gives its placid picture, not after the bank smiles or the body behaves or the bulletin cooperates, but now within, by the renewing of your mind. When you stand in this, you will be in the very stream of life in business in family, in civic duty, but not owned by its valuations. You can be in it, but not of it. You can hear the old drum and not march. And when you do, the outer life, like a shadow adjusting to a moved lamp, reorders itself without your hands upon it. That is the law of this work. We are not going to try to do anything to it. All we are going to do is bring the only demonstration, the realization of God's presence, and watch the spell lose its voice. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Let the shift be there. The rest will follow. Now we come to the money myth, and we must be very plain with it, because its costume is respectable and its voice is reasonable, and it has been rehearsed in you for years. Name the trance, net worth as worth, paycheck as breath, calendar dates as fate. If the number is up, I am up. If the 15th is thin, I am thin. Who told you that your being is issued on payroll? Who said your identity is a column on a statement? That is the hypnotist speaking through arithmetic, and it sounds like law because it uses numbers and calendars, but it is suggestion only. Supply is not a pile of dollars. Supply is the activity of presence, the living movement of God, revealing as ideas, as courage, as right place, as effortless right action. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. If that is to be more than embroidery on a pillow, we must take it as atmosphere now. Let us practice together an honest little audit. For 90 seconds, right now, without ceremony, list 5 money beliefs that tighten your chest. Be frank. I am only safe when my account shows X. If I don't hustle every hour, I'll be left behind. People like me never get ahead. The economy decides my family's future. If I give, I will have less. Put them down where you can see them. Look at them. Now, do not argue them and do not decorate them. Simply write at the top of that list suggestions, not truth. That is all. By naming them suggestions, you withdraw the badge you had pinned on them that read law. 2 times 2 cannot be 5. Even if the market shouts it on every channel, error has no statute behind it. Now withdraw the power you lent them. How? Speak softly, not to heaven afar, but to the presence at hand. Man shall not live by bread alone. Then our password. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Do not fix figures. Do not forecast futures. Do not budget the wind. Sit in quietness 30 seconds, 60, if you can bear that much surrender, and be still. Be still and know that I am God. Wait not for fireworks. Wait for the subtle easing, the untying of a knot in the sternum, the hush that says, my peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. When that hush is present, even a thread of it, you have more supply than the largest check could purchase, for you have touched the activity from which all forms of good are shadows. Now here is a hard saying, and if you will accept it, it will set you free. Give up gratitude for checks cleared. Be grateful for presence felt. I know we all want to shout Thanksgiving when the account balances, but that is kindergarten. Leave kindergarten gladly. Be grateful for God alone, for realized presence alone, and let the checks be checks, the bills be bills, clouds passing on the larger sky. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. When you say, I am not trying to make money, you have to mean it. Let the center of gravity move, and then watch how naturally the fronds of life arrange themselves around the new life in the tree. A small fiction to make it human. A bookkeeper named Mara sat at her kitchen table, 3 envelopes open, and a silence full of figures. The old narrator started his sermon, emergency. She caught him mid-syllable, wrote her 5 beliefs, labeled them suggestions, whispered, man shall not live by bread alone, Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, and sat with her palms open. Nothing dramatic, no horn, only the soft sense, enough. She did not rush to sell, to borrow, to plead. She paid one bill now, one tomorrow, and made a call that had been on her heart for months. Whether more came in that week or the next is not our point. The hypnosis broke. Her decisions arose from calm sufficiency, not from fear calculus. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. That is your marker of liberty. You will notice it not by a sudden windfall, but by the feel of the yes and the no inside you. Let your communication be yea, yea, nay, nay, clean, unhurried, without the tremor of what if. Giving will become natural, not performative. Spending will have a simple rightness about it. Opportunities will be recognized without clutching. We are not going to try to do anything to money, to bills, to markets. We are going to bring, again and again, the realization of God's presence to bear upon our own awareness, and let supply reveal itself as the activity of that presence. Consider the lilies, how they grow. Your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Stay there and let form follow. Now let us be very gentle and very unflinching as we turn to the body, for here the hypnotist has done his most convincing work. The old voice in the garden still hisses its ancient question, who told thee that thou wast naked? And we answer as if that verdict were law. Hear me, and let this sentence reseat you. This is not me. This is my body. I am invisible. Say it softly, and let it find its own place inside you. You are the awareness, the life, the presence. The body is an instrument, a robe. When you accept that, even in a small degree, the edge of fear dulls, because you are no longer confusing the garment with the wearer, the leaf with the life. The spell in this arena is broadcast on 1,000 channels. Symptom headlines that make the rare sound like the common. Search threads that funnel you from a twinge to a timeline. Well-meaning friends who, out of love flavored by anxiety, say, at your age, it runs in our family, you'd better read this article. And your inner narrator, trained to dramatize, stitches a story faster than any news desk. That rush-tight chest, accelerated scroll, rehearsed disaster is not law, it is suggestion. Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. And above, in the one, there is no law of fear. Now a picture for your heart. The body renews like leaves on a tree. Fronds emerge, ripen, spot, fall. The life of the tree remains and sends again. If a leaf tears, do you stand condemned? If a frond pales, does the life cease? No. The life is the fact. The leaves are the evidences, the comings and goings. So it is with you. Do not mistake the season of a cell for the sentence of a soul. Take no thought for your life what ye shall eat, nor yet for your body. Not a command to neglect, but a command to relocate concern to life, to presence, to the sap, and not the spot on the leaf. Let us make, right now, a living test. Bring to mind one symptom story. Be honest, the one that has been narrating itself at 3 a.m. or during the long red light. Name it. This ache means name the fear behind it. Write it, if you can, in a single phrase. Fear of decline, fear of loss of control, fear of not seeing my children grow. Now label it. Suggestion, not law. Withdraw the badge you had pinned on it. Next, speak quietly but with sincerity. This is not me. This is my body. I am invisible. Then the integrity line, and you must mean it if you want the door to open. I am not trying to get well. I am yielding to God. After that, our password, without strain. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And now, do nothing to the body. Do not fix. Do not bargain. If you do this, I will do that. Do not monitor sensations. Sit a few breaths and let the inner tide come to you. Be still and know that I am God. Wait not for fireworks. Wait for the almost imperceptible surge, that soft quickening, the sense that something other than your will is present and large. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. If only a thread of that peace is felt, it is enough for this moment, do you see? We are not going to try to do anything to it. All we are going to do is bring to this very body fear the realization of God's presence. When that hush enters, even briefly, notice the sign of shift. Concern softens. The body is no longer a battlefield. It is a trust. You can be in it, but not of it. Care returns without captivity. You may choose a walk, a glass of water, a rest, a consultation, a simple nourishment, not as a ritual offering to fear, but as a quiet stewardship prompted from within. Perfect love casteth out fear. Not your perfect regimen, love casting. And if, after an hour, the old narrator tries to resume his broadcast, do not argue. Repeat the little clinic. Spot the suggestion. Name it. Say, this is not me. This is my body. I am invisible. I am not trying to get well. I am yielding to God. Password, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Rest, you will learn to recognize liberty here the way you recognized it in supply. Not necessarily by an instant sign in the flesh, but by an absence, the absence of panic, of rush, of vigilance turned into idolatry. The what if loosens its grip. The yes and the no about care grow simple, clean, free of the tremor of proving. You bless the body as you would a faithful instrument, oiling it, tuning it, without calling it the musician. For in him we live and move and have our being. Identity shifts from the leaf to the life, from the robe to the indwelling presence. And where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, liberty from dread, liberty within the very act of caring, liberty to walk through this day unfettered by the chorus of suggestions that once called themselves law. Keep to this practice. Yield to God first. Let presence govern, and the body will find its right under that government without fear. Now we must face the loudest town crier in our time, the news, the feed, the banner that blinks, and we must do it without hatred and without surrender. Headlines are engineered for outrage. Copy is tuned to keep you hot. Identity is baited with team colors so that truth is secondary to loyalty. Red hat, blue banner, red, white, blue anxiety, us and them. And the algorithm learns your blink, your flinch, and says, give them more. That is not law, that is suggestion masquerading as duty. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. We are not going to try to do anything to the news. We are not going to correct the world with our anger. All we are going to do is bring to this very headline the realization of God's presence. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Here is the household transfer that must be made if you would be free in a mesmerized city. From the anxious clan of flags and slogans into the one household of God, there is neither Jew nor Greek, bond nor free. Ye are all one in Christ Jesus. If that is scripture to you only on Sundays, it is merely embroidery. Let it be atmosphere. You are not to despise nations. You are to outgrow being owned by them. Love your land, serve your neighbor, but do not let your concern be to defend a tribe. Let your concern be that in quietness you feel that surging of the Spirit within you, and from that presence you bless, you vote, you speak. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Not as the pundit giveth, not as the party giveth, as I give. Now, a little drill, 2 minutes, and if you will practice it each day, you will feel chains slip without a debate. Take a charged headline, choose the one that would normally grab you by the throat, and before you read the article, notice the body, tight jaw, accelerated chest, the narrator already scripting a feud. Name it. Suggestion, not law. Next, speak the stance of your soul. Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Then the password softly, like a key turned, not a slogan shouted, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Close your eyes for 10 breaths. Do not argue. Do not rehearse rebuttals. Do not script your virtue. Be still and know that I am God. Wait for the hum of presence, an easing, a widening in the chest. When that hush appears, even a thread, you test your liberty by this simple sign. Can you turn the device off without inner residue? If you can, you are free to turn it on again and read, or free to walk on. If you cannot, you are not free. You are baited. Repeat the drill until you can bless the world with a screen dark. Engagement without capture, that is our way. Render therefore unto Caesar the things which are Caesar's, and unto God the things that are God's. Vote, write, serve at the shelter, call your representative, stand with a neighbor who is unheard. Do all of it as presence, not as algorithmic arousal. Let your word be yea, yea, nay, nay, clean from inner liberty, not from tribal tremor. You will discover that your voice, bathed in peace, carries farther than your shout ever did. Your action, washed of panic, lands where it is needed. Blessed are the peacemakers, not the peace wishers, not the peace posters, the peacemakers, whose making begins in the invisible and shows itself in the visible by proportioned, timely deed. A small picture to help you recognize the difference. Daniel, a teacher, sees a headline that names his students' families with a sneer. The old drum starts, defend, attack, share now. He catches it. Suggestion, not law breathes. Thou couldst have no power. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Closes his eyes. 30 seconds. The hush comes. He turns the device off, no residue. Later, from that quiet, he writes a note to a parent, kind and clear. He attends a local meeting without venom. He brings breakfast to a student whose home is loud with fear. No grand gesture, only presence in motion. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. He stands in the overcome and acts inside the world, in it but not of it. Withdraw the power you gave to headlines. Stand as presence, and then act. If, after you act, the feed calls again with the voice of Pharaoh, more bricks, more outrage, give it no credential, password, quiet, surrender. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Keep that as your shibboleth at the city gate, and you will walk its streets unhypnotized, a citizen of the one household, a peacemaker whose steps leave no smoke behind. Now we come quietly and without flourish to the center. You have no demonstration to make from this day onward except one, the realization of the presence of God. That is all. We are not going to try to do anything to money. We are not going to try to do anything to the body. We are not going to try to do anything to the news. All we are going to do is bring to our own consciousness the realization of God's presence. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. You must take that as a sort of shibboleth, a password at the gate of every problem. Do you see the mercy in this? It gathers your scattered will into one task. It rescues you from 1,000 little fights. Seek presence, not outcomes. Presence itself is the resolution. Do not let your concern be for health. Do not let your concern be for supply. Do not let your concern be for headlines, for the behavior of nations or neighbors. Let your concern be that just here you feel that surging of the Spirit within you, that inner stir that is not excitement but peace. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Now how shall you enter it? Slowly, simply. Repeat within yourself as if turning a key. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Not chanted to force a result, not flung at the problem like a stone, but breathed as remembrance. Then be still and know that I am God. And wait 30 seconds, 60, 90, until the first soft shift arrives, the easing in the chest, the sense that you are not alone in your own head. Man shall not live by bread alone, nor by proof texts alone, but by every word presently proceeding alive now out of the mouth of God. Make of this not a crisis tool only, but a rhythm. Morning before the devices, before the schedule, sit in quietness. Not to map your day, not to bargain, if you will do this, I will do that, but to yield. Midday, somewhere between the emails and the errands, 2 minutes, 3 if you can bear it, close your eyes, password, stillness, wait for the hush. Evening before you enter sleep, return. 3 times a day until the habit forms, and then oftener as breath, as posture. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, not as an emergency exit, but as a way of life. When you say, I'm not trying to get well, you have to mean it. When you say, I'm not trying to get rich, you have to mean it. When you say, I'm not trying to change the world, you have to mean it. Your only concern is that you feel, even in a thread, the inward quickening that says, I am is here. This is the promise, and it is not mine. It is the nature of spirit. When presence is realized, liberty is found there, right there in the very spot where fear claimed jurisdiction. You sit with the bill and the hush comes, and you find you can pay what is yours to pay now without tremor and leave the rest without a script of doom liberty there. You feel the twinge, and the hush comes, and your care becomes simple, your choice is clean, your body no longer an altar to anxiety, liberty there. You see the headline, and the hush comes, and your hand is free to close the screen with no residue, or to act from love without venom, liberty there. Error has no law. It borrows your attention to impersonate law. Withdraw the credential, bring presence, and its voice thins to nothing. Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Do not be concerned if the shift is delicate at first. A thread of that peace is enough for this moment. Return to it. Return again. Life will begin to take its rhythm from this inner tide. Choices will be made from rest rather than from rush. The appetite to prove, to defend, to secure will loosen its claim, and a quiet adequacy will take its seat. You can be in it, but not of it. We are not improving shadows. We are turning to the light that casts them, and in that turning, the shadows fall where they must or vanish altogether. Keep your one demonstration before you. God realized, God felt, and let everything else be added in its own way, in its own time. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Make this your password, your practice, your peace. Now we must stop and look ourselves in the eye. It is very easy, too easy, to say, I seek God, when what we secretly seek is the end of a pain, the clearing of a bill, the softening of a headline. Don't be ashamed. None of us mean it at first. I did not. I have sat with a symptom, with a telegram, with an account due, and I have said, Father, thy will. While inside, I was pressing my petition under the table. That is self-deception, and it keeps the door only half open. You cannot bring the realization of God's presence and also keep one hand on the lever of results. No man can serve two masters. The integrity of this way is single, one demonstration only, and you must ask plainly, do I really mean it? Here is a hard instruction, and I am going to give it to you because it is mercy in a sharp form. Give up gratitude for healings. Give up gratitude for increased supply. Give up gratitude for any outer good. Be grateful for God alone, grateful for the felt presence alone. Why? Because as long as your gratitude is hitched to effects, you are still bargaining. You have set up the world as paymaster and God as method. Man shall not live by bread alone, not even by the bread of good outcomes, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Take this into practice. When the pain eases, if it does, do not rush to thank the easing. Turn within and say, thank you for the hush, for the presence that is here regardless. When the check clears, if it does, do not bow to the figure, bow to the I that was enough before and after any figure. When the article softens, if it does, do not exalt the tone. Exalt the piece that did not borrow its calm from any editor. You will feel something in you unhook from the wheel. Now, make a vow, and if you will not make it, be honest that you are not ready. Say it softly, but mean it. Sick or well, I am for God. Rich or poor, I am for God. Praised or blamed, I am for God. Hired or fired, I am for God. Invisible success or in hidden seed, I am for God. And then test your words, because words are cheap. Ask yourself, if the symptom stayed another day, would I still sit to the hush? If the check delayed another week, would I still trust and give and walk simply? If the headline sharpened, would I still bless and act from peace without picking up the tribal spear? If the answer is no or I don't know, do not scold yourself. Bring it into the light. Lord, I believe. Help thou mine unbelief. And then return to your one practice without bargaining. Password, stillness. Wait for the thread of presence. Be still and know that I am God. The fruit of integrity is unmistakable, and you will know it by these signs. Stillness without a deal on the table. Joy that is not rented from circumstances. The yes and the no inside you becoming clean without the tremor of but what if. A sudden freedom to thank before the form appears, and to thank the same whether it appears or not. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Not the world's fragile armistice, peace after conditions, but the inner government that remains when tides move. Out of that government decisions emerge without strain. Giving becomes a natural overflow, not a performance. Care for the body becomes stewardship without fear. Engagement with the world becomes service without smoke. And here is the promise, and it is not mine when you mean it. When God is first and out comes a second, the door of liberty opens of itself. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Keep to that single center. Hold to it when the appetite to bargain returns. And watch how, in the very place where you surrendered the outcome, the spell thins and the presence stands revealed. Sufficient, entire. Let us make this very practical now, right here, together. We will run a little clinic spot, name, withdraw, rest, and you will prove for yourself that hypnosis thins in real time when attention is returned to felt presence. Do not prepare, do not arrange the room, take it as you are. Round one money, bring to mind one panicky belief, the one that grabs you first. Put it down in a few words. If this bill isn't paid by Friday, everything collapses. Or, if my account drops below X, I am not safe. Be blunt. Now, across that sentence, write one word, suggestion. If you want to thicken it, add not law. You have already withdrawn half its power by stripping it of its borrowed badge. Next, speak the password softly, not as magic, but as memory. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Add, if it rises, man shall not live by bread alone. And now, sit 60 seconds. No arguing, no figuring. Be still, and know that I am God. If a clock is near, let it tick. If thoughts go by, let them go by. Watch, not for fireworks, but for the smallest sign of shift. Breath deepening, shoulders letting down, a soft warmth at the center, the inner narrator losing volume. That is presence registering. We are not going to try to do anything to the bill. We are bringing realization to consciousness and letting form take its place under that government. Round 2, body. Name the symptom story honestly. This ache means I am declining. This racing means my heart is failing. Write it plain. Stamp it suggestion, not law. Now, the confession that turns the key, and you must mean it so far as you are able. I am not trying to get well. I am yielding to God. Whisper it again until you hear yourself, then the password. The same key and the same lock. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Sit again, 60 seconds. Be still and know that I am God. Do not test the body. Do not scan for proof. Attend only to presence. The sign may be the faintest inner hush, an easing of that little knot behind the breastbone, a widening that was not there a moment ago. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. We are not going to try to do anything to the body. We are yielding, and in the yield, fear loses jurisdiction. Round 3, news. Call up a headline that would usually hook you. Do not read the article yet. Hold only the banner in mind. Label it suggestion, not law. Then speak gently, so it doesn't become another slogan. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Add, if you feel the need to cut the cord, thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Place the device face down. Breathe 6 slow breaths. Count them if you must. With each exhale, let the inner residue drain like smoke leaving a room. Be still and know that I am God. Notice the simple sign of freedom. You can pick the device up again without the tug, or leave it where it is without itch. That is liberty right there in it, but not of it. Now, detect and record. Do not write an essay. Give each round one clean sentence with 3 parts. The belief you named, the presence you felt, and the action that arises from peace, not panic. Money might read, belief. If Friday fails, I fail. Presence, chest softened and breath lengthened. Action, pay what is mine to pay today and make the one call I am led to calmly. Body might read, belief, this ache is decline. Presence, a small warmth at center, and the narrator went quiet. Action, take a walk and a glass of water. No bargaining. News might read, belief, my tribe must rage now. Presence, device face down without itch. Action, write one measured note and then turn to my student with attention. Keep these sentences somewhere. You can see them this week. Not as trophies, but as reminders that liberty registers in felt shifts and simple deeds. If nothing seems to move, if the mind keeps jabbering, if the chest stays tight, do not scold. Double the quiet. Give it another minute. Return to the password without strain, like setting a key back into its groove. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Sit again. Sometimes the first knots untie slowly because we have been tugging for years. Do not try to do anything to the problem. Bring the realization of God's presence and wait for that thread of hush. Even a thread is enough for this moment. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. This is your little clinic. Spot the suggestion. Name it as such. Withdraw the credential you had given it. Rest until presence is felt, however slightly. Then act from that rest, not before. Practiced in this way 3 rounds in a few minutes, several times a day, you will discover that fear is mass hypnosis only so long as you consent to stare at its banner. Turn again and again to the inner government. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Keep that password living on your breath and watch the spell dissolve where you stand. Now, because practice ripens into seeing, let me lay out the way this unfolds for most of us, and you will recognize yourself somewhere along it. The first degree is the metaphysical stage, and this is where many of us begin. We are taught to deny the reality of the discord, to say of the error, it has no law, to refuse it a name and a nature. We learn that 2 times 2 is 4, and that if the mind shouts 5, there is no statute in the universe to support it. We turn our gaze from appearance to principle, and real relief comes, yes, healings, yes, supply, yes, quieting of fear, because even a glimpse that error has no law loosens its borrowed badge. Be grateful for that first light. But hear me, this is a beginning, not a home. As long as you are arguing with condition, even to deny it, you are still interested in condition. It is helpful but partial. It is like standing at the seashore and saying, there is no horizon, when the truth is you will only prove it by sailing beyond it. Then we pass, usually without noticing the exact moment, into the second degree, the great season of mental living. Here we apply principles. We think rightly, we affirm. We hold truth against the wind and note improvements. And they come, oh, they do. The body settles, the account steadies, the household tempers. We are no longer children. We can, as it were, manage weather. But in this degree, there is often a subtle pride, and you must watch for it. My understanding, my treatment, my demonstration, and out of sight there may still be an attachment to outcomes, a quiet bargaining that says, I will keep my peace if the ledger stays black, if the lab stays normal, if the headlines soften. This is a wide and productive field, but it is still a field of managing. We have left toys, we have not yet left nets. Now the third degree is different in kind, not merely in polish. This is surrender. This is where you face the death of material sense, not the death of the body, but the passing of the belief that your life hangs on conditions and that your peace is wages paid by the world. Not my will, but thine be done. Here you stop trying to steer the river. You can say, and you must mean it, sick or well, I am for God, rich or poor, I am for God, praised or blamed, I am for God. Leave your nets, is the word, and follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Drop the managing, the outcome watching, the quiet trades with heaven. In this degree, we are not going to try to do anything to the condition. All we are going to do is bring the realization of God's presence. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. And when that presence is realized, even as a thread, peace is chosen over control, chosen first, chosen last, chosen if the form changes, chosen if it does not. You will know you are nearing this threshold by certain signs. There is less arguing with shadows, more sitting in quiet authority. The password does not come as a shout, but as a key turned. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. You can sit with the bill and not twitch, with the symptom and not scan, with the banner and not burn. Love enlarges beyond tribe, beyond cause. beyond the circle that agrees with you, because you have ceased to rent your compassion from a flag. There is neither Jew nor Greek. Ye are all one in Christ Jesus. Your speech grows plain, yea, yea, nay, nay, and your deeds arrive on time without smoke. You are in it, but not of it. And others hear as the quiet wonder, others begin to rest in your presence without knowing why. Fisher of men, not by hook, but by atmosphere. Perfect love casteth out fear, and they feel the casting. Do not be afraid if this third degree feels like a little dying each day. It is. Paul said, I die daily. Let it be the death of bargaining, the death of managing, the death of the small sovereignty that wore you out. Bring your nets to the shore, your calculations, your defenses, your carefully arranged outcomes, lay them down, and hear the invitation again, as if for the first time, follow me. Then, password, stillness, hush. Choose presence over every outcome and keep choosing. That is maturity. That is liberty. Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Above is here now. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Now, because liberty is not a mood, but a government, let us set a rhythm that keeps you in it while the city hums. Freedom is maintained by rhythm, regular return to presence in the midst of life. So here is the rule of life, and you must take it without exception. At least 3 times daily, sit in quietness until you feel the inner surge. Not a thought, not a wish, an actual stirring, a hush that registers. Morning, before you meet the world. Midday, somewhere between tasks. Evening, before you surrender to sleep. 30 seconds, 60, 90, as needed until the thread is there. Be still and know that I am God. We are not going to try to do anything to your day. We are going to bring the realization of God's presence and let the day stand under that law. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Now, media. Do not graze all day. Set intake windows. Decide when you will read and when you will fast. Before you enter, pause, pass word, hush, a breath, so that you go in it but not of it. Then read what is yours to read, and only that. Pass by the bait. When you exit, close the device and sit 1 minute, eyes soft, be still until residue clears. If you cannot exit clean, you are captured. Repeat the minute. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Let the feed not own your heart. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Money now, and make it simple. Give first, quietly, from presence, not as appeasement. A tithe or what is right in your light, but in secret. Let not thy left hand know what thy right hand doeth, and thy Father which seeth in secret himself shall reward thee openly. The gift is your declaration of government. I live by spirit, not by arithmetic. Then budget from sufficiency, not from dread. Sit with the figures after the hush, and let your yea, yea, nay, nay fall clean. Cut where fear had been purchasing your image. Spend where love asks stewardship. Man shall not live by bread alone, nor by balance sheets alone, but by every word presently proceeding. We are not going to do anything to money. We are going to live from presence and watch money take its right place under that authority. Body next, and let us keep it free of both neglect and worship. Sleep enough. Move daily. Nourish simply. Drink water. Breathe. Offer these as stewardship, not as appeasement of fear. Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost? Care for the temple because Spirit dwells, not to buy one more day. When you lace your shoes, whisper, I am not trying to get well, I am yielding to God. Walk as prayer. Eat as gratitude. Rest as trust. And if the narrator starts at scanning, stop password, hush. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Community now, because solitary zeal runs thin. 2 or 3, not a crowd, who share the password and the integrity of this way. Gather weekly if you can, 15 minutes if that is all you have. Sit together until the hush is felt among you. Speak little. When you do speak, hold one another to sincerity. When you say, I'm not trying to get rich, do you mean it? Listen with love. Answer with truth. Read one line, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, and let it be your banner. Where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. In that midst, fear thins without debate. And the relapse plan, because the spell will shout again. If fear spikes mid-call, mid-sentence, mid-scroll, stop midstream. You owe no demon the courtesy of finishing a paragraph. Put it down. Breathe the password. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Close your eyes for 3 slow breaths. Do not argue. Do not explain. Return. If you must step out of the room, do it. Begin again. Return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee. If it spikes again in an hour, repeat. Liberty is maintained by repetition more than by drama. Make of this a life, not a burst. 3 sittings daily, clean media doors, quiet giving, simple stewardship of the body, 2 or 3 in honest fellowship, and an immediate return when you are hooked. Do not let your concern be for outcomes. Let your concern be that regularly you feel that surging of the Spirit within you. Pray without ceasing, not words without ceasing, but posture without break. Then you will find that the city may race, the markets may tilt, the headlines may blink, and you remain under the one government. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Keep the password living on your breath. Keep the rhythm. Walk on. So now as you rise and go out, carry one simple clarity like a lamp cupped from the wind. Fear is hypnosis, a mass suggestion wearing the mask of law. Presence realized is liberty now, and under that light the tyrannies of money, body, and news are found to be only loud voices without authority. Do not be impressed with volume. Do not be shamed by the old tremors if they stir. We are not going to try to do anything to them. All we are going to do is bring to our own awareness the realization of God's presence. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. The day will bring you its ordinary altars. A bill in the post, a message blinking on a screen, a twinge that would like to become a narrative. Let each be what it is, an invitation to turn inward, to remember the password, and to wait for the hush. Use it rightly. Put the paper on the table. Set the phone down. Sit with the sensation without rushing to measure it. Whisper not as a charm, but as a key. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Then be still and know that I am God. And wait 30 seconds. 60, until the thread of peace declares itself. Then move, not before. At the desk with your figures, let the old arithmetic tap the glass. It will try to preach scarcity. Answer it softly. Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Password. Hush. Feel the government shift from numbers to spirit. Now let your yea, yea, nay, nay fall clean. Pay what is yours to pay today without tremor. Give what love asks in secret. Decline what is untrue to your light without drama. We are not going to try to do anything to money. We are yielding to the order already established. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. In the body, when the ache raises its little banner, do not lend it your name. Who told thee that thou wast naked? Say within, and you must mean it so far as you can, I am not trying to get well, I am yielding to God. This is not me. This is my body. I am invisible. Password. Hush. Let stewardship arise from peace, water, rest, a walk, a simple meal, perhaps a call made quietly. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. We are not going to try to do anything to the body. We are going to let realized presence govern where fear had been governing. And the news, oh, it will ring the bell. You can be in it, but not of it. When the headline wants your outrage as tithe, place the device face down, breathe, and say, Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it were given thee from above. Password. Whoosh. Then either act a measured note, a just gift, a neighbor helped, or refrain. Love will show you which, and you will know because there is no smoke in it. Perfect love casteth out fear. Now let gratitude complete the circle. Not gratitude for outcomes, give that up, or it will keep you bargaining. Be grateful for God alone, for the felt presence, that is, its own sufficiency, whether forms come or go. My peace I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Say within, if you will take the vow, sick or well, I am for God. Rich or poor, I am for God. Praised or blamed, I am for God. Then go in peace and act from liberty. Carry the password on your lips and keep it living in your heart. Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Do not try to do anything to the problem. Bring the realization of God's presence and let life take its place under that government. In quietness and in confidence shall be your strength. Walk out as presence, and you will find liberty walking with you in the street and at the sink, in the meeting and at the bedside. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. Thank you.